Good morning, students. Today we will discuss the question answers based on lesson 5 Indigo. Now these are the questions given in your textbook. Think as you read. Strike out what is not true in the following. Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper, a politician, a delegate, landlord. No, the answer is that Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper. He was not a politician, he was not a delegate, he was not a landlord. Now, next part, Rajkumar Shukla was poor, physically strong, illiterate. The answer is Rajkumar Shukla was poor, he was illiterate, but he was not physically strong. Next question, why is Rajkumar Shukla described as being resolute? Rajkumar Shukla, he has been described as being resolute because he was determined to take Mahatma Gandhi to Champaran. He had come all the way from Champaran district in the foothills of Himalayas to Lucknow to speak to Gandhi. Shukla accompanied Gandhi everywhere. Shukla followed him to ashram near Ahmedabad, and for weeks he never left Gandhi's side till Mahatma Gandhi asked him to meet at Calcutta. So, Rajkumar Shukla is described as resolute. Next question, why do you think servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant? Who servants? That is Dr. Rajendra Prasad servants. Now the question is, why do you think the servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant? Gandhi has gone along with Rajkumar Shukla to Rajendra Prasad's house. The servants knew Shukla that he was a poor yeoman. Poor yeoman means very poor farmer. And Gandhiji was also clad in simple dhoti. He was the companion of a peasant. So the servants thought Mahatma Gandhi to be another peasant. Now next question. List the places that Gandhi visited between his first meeting with Shukla and his arrival at Champaran. Gandhi's first meeting with Shukla was at Lucknow, then he went to Kanpur and other parts of India, returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad, later he went to Calcutta, Patna, Muzaffarpur before arriving at Champaran. Now, next question. Now, why did Gandhi agree to the settlement of 25% refund to the farmers? Now, as you know that for Mahatma Gandhi, the amount of refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been forced to return part of money and with it part of their prestige too. So agreed to the settlement of 25% refunds to the farmers. Now next question, how did episode change the plight of the peasants? You know, the peasants were saved from spending time and money on court cases, and after some years, British planters gave up control of their estate, and these estates were now reverted to the peasants, and indigo sharecropping was stopped. Now, next question, how was Gandhiji able to influence lawyer Dev instances? You know, Mahatma Gandhi was able to influence the lawyers when he asked lawyers what they would do if he was sentenced to prison. When Mahatma Gandhi asked from the lawyers that if he is sent to prison, then what would they do? Then they said that they had come to advise him, and if he went to jail, they would go back to their home. Then Mahatma Gandhi asked them about the injustice to the sharecropper. Then lawyers held consultations, and they came to conclusion that it would be shameful desertion if they went home, and so they told Gandhiji that they were ready to follow him into the jail. So this was the instance. By this instance, he was able to influence the laws. Now next question. What was the attitude of average Indian in the smaller localities towards advocates of home rule? Now, as I have already told you while teaching the lesson, that the people were, the Indians were afraid to give shelter to the advocates of the home rule. They were afraid. The average Indian in smaller localities were afraid of showing sympathy to the advocates of home rule. And Gandhiji stayed at Muzaffarpur for 2 days at the home of Professor Malkani, a teacher in government school. And it was extraordinary thing in those days for a government professor to give shelter to one who opposed the government. Now next question, how do we know that ordinary people too contributed to the freedom movement? Now Professor J.B. Kriplani received Mahatma Gandhi at Muzaffarpur railway station at midnight. He had large body of students with him. Sharecroppers from Champaran came on foot and by conveyance to see Mahatma Gandhi. Muzaffarpur lawyers too called on him. A large number of people greeted Mahatma Gandhi when he reached Motihari railway station. Thousands of people demonstrated around the courtroom. This shows that ordinary people too contributed to the freedom movement in India. Now next question. The events in this part of the text illustrate Gandhi's method of working. Can you identify some instances of this method and link them to his ideas of satyagraha and non-violence? Yes, that is, in this part of the story, we have seen that Mahatma Gandhi has helped the British government in regulating the crowd when the peasants have gathered outside the court, and he stopped the farmers, he regulated the crowd, otherwise there would have been bloodshed. And again, in the court, he admitted his crime. He told the truth that he heard the voice of his conscience and his purpose was not to disobey the court. The only thing was that he wanted to hear the voice of his conscience. He wanted to help the humanity, and that's why he has disobeyed the order of court. So all these incidents, they prove that all these incidents are related with the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi regarding satyagraha and non-violence. In court, he didn't tell a lie. He asked for the penalty that is due to him for the crime that he has committed, and he also didn't want that there should be any bloodshed, and that's why he has regulated the crowd outside the court. So these instances show that Mahatma Gandhi believed in satyagraha and non-violence. So you students, you will write down answer to these questions in your notebook.